you know, a singer, pop singer, for example, like Charlie XCX, I mean, 95% of what she's doing on stage is backing tracks.
For people that don't know, what is backtracking? Like what is that position? What's the role of that person with the whole show that goes on?
I mean, once again, it's kind of like case by case, and that could be something that is kind of like less significant all the way to being like the most important aspect of the show, depending on how that particular performance needs to go. Backing tracks are essentially tracks that musicians on stage need but aren't physically playing. So in the case of a singer, pop singer, for example, like Charlie XCX, I mean, 95% of what she's doing on stage is backing tracks. So that means, all the drums, all the keyboards, all the sound effects, all the backing vocals, all of her vocal effects, all of that stuff that's not being performed by her or her, additional artist on stage, which in the case of the shows that I did with her, was, basically provided by two other women who were mostly doing kind of percussive stuff in the background, playing on, drum synthesizer, MIDI controlled drum synths, and all the other stuff, bass lines, like the main kind of like kick drums, the driving force of it was all backing. So, when you're playing to a crowd of, something like Glastonbury, thousands of people there, you're really relying on these computers to do their job, and for you to have it operating correctly and making the cues and having that artist look good, But other bands, maybe it's just a couple of things that run in the background that kind of fill in where the other artists aren't doing. But the interesting thing is that people just don't realize that there is that much technology going on behind the scenes nowadays, because they see people on stage, they see people playing instruments, but the level of what production entails nowadays is so significant and such a big part of the music that's being made that it would be physically impossible to get all aspects of it played live.
Right.
And then to just kind of segue, one last part of that is it can also be triggering, the time code that gets sent out to the lighting director. It can be sending out another kind of time code that gets sent out to control things like pyrotechnics. I mean, basically you are sending out streams of the audio that are going to go to the monitors, in-ear monitors for the artists themselves, via the monitor engineer, and that signal also goes out to the front of the house, which is the mixer that's mixing the show. So you have all of that, and when you are flying and those computers are in a Pelican case that you carry on the plane with you, you just pray that you get there. You get there, because if you don't get there, you are the person that actually has the show in your possession. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. It's unlike anything else. Like the level of just like adrenaline that you get doing that job. It's fun to do, but I can honestly say that it takes a very special person to do that full time.